What's up, everybody? Skyhook Garage here, and got a quick down and dirty for you. So with the panniers on the 2020 Africa Twin, and really this video is probably good for any of the Tortec panniers. Some guys and gals perhaps were asking about the lock cylinder. If you put the lock cylinder in and it wasn't keyed right, or maybe the box isn't correct for the bike and you want to take the key cylinder back out, because the key cylinder does fit different Tortec boxes and stuff. So in order to get the tumbler back out of the lock cylinder here, you're going to want to open up the pannier like you have, and then you're going to have 6 screws, okay? 4 of them are going to hold in the body of the lock cylinder assembly, and then these 2 up here help the latch at the top. So there's 6 of them. Now on the 2020 Africa Twin box, they are Phillips head, and they have a little rubber gasket on there. You want to make sure you don't lose those guys, that little rubber guy right there, a little bit mangled up, but sometimes they stick to the side of the inside of the pannier here, and when you pull this screw out, the gasket might sit there and then fall off, and then who knows where it goes from there. But anyway, take those 6 out, okay? You're going to bring the latch over to your workstation or wherever you're going to do this disassembling. Now, one other quick note. This guy right here is the bar that slides up and down and locks the actual portion that releases it from the bike. Now, as you can see, there's some grease there and whatnot, and this is kind of staying in place. So just be mindful of that. That has to go back onto the bike, obviously, in order to have the latching mechanism work properly. So on mine, it's the grease is kind of keeping it there. So I'm going to leave it right where it's at. It's locked in, and we'll go over to the bench here. All right, so once you pull the latch cylinder off, or latch assembly off, okay, this is the guy right here. All right, you got the 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 holding the top of the clasp up here, helping it there. So those are the 6 spots that the screws come out of. And tools you're going to need, you're going to want a pick. This one's kind of blunt, but I might end up using this guy. It's a little bit longer, nice and pointy. Of course, you need the Phillips head screwdriver for the screws, or whatever Phillips head tool you decide to use. And then, of course, don't forget the lanyard that sticks in here. Kind of sets right in there. That way, when you want to cover up the cylinder right there, it's that guy right there. But anyway, don't forget to put that on before you bolt this back to the bike. All right, so first things first, you don't need the key to do this. I do understand that in my videos that I did for keying the cylinder, I said, hey, you're going to need the key to get the cylinder out. You might need a special tool. You actually don't. You don't need any special tools. It's just a little bit of disassembly with this cylinder here. So step 1 is organization, okay? We're going to be taking apart the guts in here, and I'm going to be laying them out individually from left to right, and you always just want to make sure that everything is in order the way that you take it apart. So step number 1 is you want to, this piece right here, okay, has a little bit of spring pressure to it. It wiggles a little bit and moves back and forth as you turn the tumbler, and you're going to want to hold that down and remove the E-clip here. That's where the flat-headed screwdriver might come in, or this pick might be helpful. So I'm going to pop that guy out. All right, now, obviously if it's down there, we will grab it at the end, but understand that that has to go on first. So wiggle this a little bit, okay, carefully. All right, and then this is piece number 1. Well, technically 2, because the E-clip's down there, but we'll make that piece number 1. All right, then everything you can see, everything right here is keyed in on that little tang right there. So you got the locking plate there. All right, we'll make that number 2. All right, and then importantly, this little ball right here, there's a little spring that's underneath that ball. Just leave the assembly the way it is here and you won't lose that ball. All right, then you got the detent plate, spring plate here. All right, pop that guy out carefully, nice and straight. All right, little trick. The little indentations right there need to face down into the assembly. All right, so it needs to face this way when we put it back together. So that's number 3. Put that over there. All right, now what you can do is just lift up the assembly. All right, and if you want, grab that E-clip. Don't forget, like I said earlier, you have the spring that needs to go in there. It needs to go in that hole right there. And then you have the ball. Now you can either put the ball in now or later. It doesn't really matter. If you put it in now, just don't lose it again. Set that guy off to the side, face down, and then it won't go. That ball won't go anywhere. Now we have the key lock cylinder right here, okay? First things first, again, this is going to be considered down, the little tang right there. All right, give it a tap, drop that washer out. Doesn't matter which direction the washer goes, but that is number 5. All right, now if you remember from the assembly video, this guy right down in there, if you can see it, right down in there, that's your locking paw. Now what you want to do is you want to work your pick in there and push it down, and then push on this guy right here a little bit. Right there. If you saw or heard that in the video, hey, look, it's coming out. Give it a little squish. Sometimes you might need to assist a little bit more. Give it a little push. Try to get it to come all the way out. Maybe a little tap. All right, there we go. It's starting to come out. Now, okay, I'm not using the key, so like if you remember from the pin video, if you're not careful, some of these pins might go places. So just gently pull it out. Make sure none of them have gone anywhere. Unless, of course, they're pinned wrong, then you don't really care. But there's that locking pin right there. So, yeah, so that's how to get it out. And what I'll do is I'm going to set this off to the side. All right, and I'm going to put this all back together. Now this, just remember, this guy moves a little bit in here. So try to keep it in the position that it was, which is about that. So we'll set that guy down. Grab the body, set the body down on top. Now the body is keyed to the tumbler body. There we go. Just like that. Then we just reverse assembly. Little washer. Turn this guy just a little bit. Make sure it's pointing down. Just like that. All right, and then the spring plate, don't forget, detents face downward. These guys right here. Goes down. That locks into that little tang right there. All right, and then you got the plate. That goes down on top. And then you have your pressure plate here with the locking paw at the top here. Now, the one thing that you're going to notice is that this little piece that moves in the center is not out far enough. So sometimes what you might have to do is use something on the other side to assist you. So what that means is you have to hold this guy, put something all the way in that will push that guy up. Now, it's a little bit tricky, but it basically keeps this pushed this direction so you can actually put everything on easily enough. Now, get the black plate on there, kind of balancing everything, pushing on that gray thing a little bit. Then you have your E-clip. E-clip, hopefully it's not your pick's not magnetic and fights you like mine is. There we go. All right, push down on this with your thumb and forefinger, and then just give it a quick snap in, just like that. All right, now everything's together. Now what I would still suggest to do is push a little bit and just make sure that that E-clip is definitely right where it needs to be in the groove, which it is. You can see it all the way around there. Looks good. And now we're back to square one. All right, and for argument's sake, let's say that my key was pinned incorrectly. I pin it properly, or I get a different Tortec box. Put it all in. Yep, pins look good. Locking paw starts at the top. Kind of get it started in there, and then bam. Yep, that's all she wrote. And again, don't forget to put this little tailpiece in here when you put it back on the bike. All right, 6 screws, don't go crazy tightening them. Don't have a torque spec for you, sorry about that. But I hope this video was helpful. I know some of you were asking for it. And yeah, hopefully it was helpful and not too complicated. Post the questions, comments down below. Subscribe, like this video. And as always, I appreciate all your support. And until next time, thanks for watching.